Championships. We are here in Brampton, Ontario for the Junior Women's Division semifinal between TORO from Ontario and MOFO of Manitoba. It's Becky Thompson here in the booth, joined by Allison Fisher. And Fish, we've got a pretty exciting matchup here. These two teams face each other in pool play, with MOFO coming out on top 13-10. And what do you think we're going to see here in this game?
Well, I think that both teams are ready and able. They're experienced. They've been in this position before. They know how to handle a semifinal matchup. So I think, talking to Coach Carla on the side of the Toronto team, TORO, they are definitely going to be looking at making some adjustments. Likely they will be forcing a lot of backhand, putting a lot of pressure on the other team's main handlers to make sure that they make a lot of passes, looking to get turnovers that way. And on the other side, MOFO said they are not going to be making too many adjustments. They're pretty happy with the way that their game ended up, but they will be throwing a lot of longs. They do like to look deep, especially early on in the game. So I think this is going to be a really exciting matchup. Two teams have very experienced coaches as well, so for sure they spend a lot of time thinking about their game, looking at game tape, possibly getting ready for what types of matchups they're going to see for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, this is a rematch of the semifinal from last year as well, where these two teams went to Universe Point, and TORO came out on top in that one. And the other side on the bracket, we've got Eclipse from BC and Vortex also from BC, another rematch from last year. So the same top four teams here too, which is interesting to see, and we're going to see if we get another down to the wire game here as well. So we've got TORO on the left hand of your screen. They're going to be wearing the dark jerseys. MOFO in the white on the right side of your screen.
Looks like MOFO is going to be starting out on defense. I will be interested to see what type of looks they will throw. I have had the opportunity to see TORO already. They played a game yesterday. Their quarterfinal matchup was on this field, so we got a chance to have a look at them and get to know their players a little bit. On the MOFO side, I haven't had an opportunity to watch them, so I'm excited to see what they can bring out.
So there's a little bit of wind here today as well. You can see the flags on the far side are blowing a little bit downwind from the TORO side of the field, so maybe some zone defenses coming out. We saw MOFO and TORO use zone in the game that they played against each other in pool play, so I won't be surprised to see that as well. And we're going to get ready for the first pull. Junior women's semifinal underway. Amanda Froze with the pull for MOFO. Wang on the far side. MOFO down in a person set as Wang centers to Santacono. And that one, the reset looking for Jaden Lunn, is a little bit too far over her head. Shaky start here from TORO, and MOFO immediate chance here to get a break.
Well, let's see if TORO is able to do the matchups that they want in order to possibly cause a turnover. Get that disc back.
Froze with the disc. Shoots to the end zone, and that one too low as well. So two early mistakes here from both of these teams. Maybe just a little bit of jitters right at the start. A big semifinal, just need to feel each other out on this first point.
And I believe both teams have a lot of experience on the line, but nonetheless, when you're playing in a semifinal, there's always a lot of stress those first few points.
And right there we just saw a hand block from Sarah Jacobson, a foul called, looks like no contest, so Tracy Dow will get the disc back. Those two Team Canada U20 teammates competing in Waterloo next week as well, so good to see them have good spirit on the field together. Dow will bring the disc back into play. Finds Lunn. Lunn shoots to the near sideline, and that's another miscued throw as Monica Wang can't reach that one. And right away, a deep shot. That shot was a good shot to the end zone, but just bobbled off the hands of Caitlin Cho, and TORO still with a chance to hold as Lunn shoots a big huck deep. Monica Wang bobbles, but Santacono manages to come down with it, and then Santacono shooting, but again, Fish, just a little bit of nerves, I think, plaguing both of these teams right now.
Yeah, and we've seen that in a lot of the games on the showcase field, those first few points, while teams are sort of feeling each other out. Everybody tends to rush a little bit on their throws, looking deep all the time, as we talked about. Both teams, I think, will continue to do that. I'm sure the coaches are just going to say, hey guys, let's just, clean it up a little bit, take our time with those deep shots, and everything will be okay.
So another miscue just there from Toro as Jacobson now with the disc. Running out of options, shoots upfield. Megan Gillis just out of reach. Looks like she thought about making a play, but that one was hanging a little bit low. Shaky first point here for both of these teams. We'll see if Lund can find a better option here. Opts for the blade, finds Monica Wang. Wang now. Resets to Dow. Dow finds Santacono in the middle.
Beautiful swing pass.
Back to Tracy Dow. And she's going to shoot for the end zone. Finding her receiver this time, Montana Dennis with the goal, and Toro is going to get a hold here right off the bat after a fairly long first point, but a good hold here in the end and maybe a little bit of confidence boost to get that back and keep that disc in their possession.
I actually like that they continue to take those deep shots. I'm sure that was the game plan and they just stuck with it. Even if it wasn't working, a couple of times they kept at it and they were able to be successful in the end zone. In general, coaches like to have their teams take deep shots early on in the game so that the other team's defense has to respect that, has to not only cover the unders but look to take away the deeps as well. It makes it much harder for the defensive set.
So 1-0 here early on in this game. A little bit of a longer first point, but I don't think that's going to phase either of these two teams. The wind is definitely picking up as well. So we'll see how both of these teams adjust to those situations as we progress into this game.
I'd just like to give a little shout out to our observers today. Today we have Jeff Peters and Justin Lee working this game. We've had awesome observers all week long, and we are privileged to have them on the field with us today, making the calls, letting us know what's happening, keeping the game clean and fast and efficient.
So we get a first look here at the D-line for Toro. The offensive set here for MOFO. Jacobson now. Toro down in that zone look, trying to take advantage of a little bit of the wind for some help D here. And that one through the middle, finds the receiver. Working it upfield now. Now centered. Back to Jacobson. Jacobson, the real general of this MOFO offense as well. Often going 1 and 2 as she shoots a little backhand high release over the defenders.
Well, and it looks like there is an injury to ankle. Looks like an ankle. And as we've seen before, players on the field take a knee. I really love this spirited activity by both teams to take a knee, respect that injured player. It's a great spirit of the game show.
Yeah, it looked like the MOFO player there, just as she tried to pivot out, just went over on her ankle, and unfortunate start to this game. If that is a game-ending injury, we hope she'll be okay. MOFO doing a really good job of working it up the field though there, Fish. They coming out in their first look at the offense, Toro down in a zone and just easily dishing it around through their handlers.
Yeah, they didn't seem to really find that zone was a problem at all. They were able to get it through the cup, which is always what you want to do in a zone. Get it away from where the majority of the defensive players are and use the other side of the field. And they just had a nice, easy time swinging it back and forth.
So Isabel Einarsson going to be helped off the field by her teammates. We hope she's okay. We'll try to get an update for you later on if we can. So the sub will come in for MOFO. Kirsten Hilland will take the disc here. They're about 10 yards out of the end zone, looking to get a hold of their own right off the bat here. Disc in with Hilland. Looks off her reset, but finds it again with Jacobson.
looks like there has been a call as number 94 is wide open on that swing pass.
Yeah, pit called there, and not hard to see why. Sarah Stows was extremely open for that reset. So the Toro player will catch up, and Jacobson will get the disc back here, stall 4. Jacobson surveying for an option, shoots to the end zone, and Megan Gillis with the big grab reels that one in for a hold, and a clean point here from MOFO, a 0 turnover point. Such an efficient offense here, Fish.
That was a beautiful shot and excellent grab in traffic. I mean, it's tough to make those grabs even when there's no defender, but when there's a defender right next to you and you're still able to pull it in, that is excellent concentration and focus.
Megan Gillis has been a star cutter throughout the course of the weekend for this MOFO team as well, so not surprised to see her coming down with big catches right away. And MOFO looking very calm and collected here. Toro a little bit shaky on that last offensive point, so we'll see now if they can have an opportunity to clean that up a little bit.
When I was talking to Coach Carla earlier, she was mentioning that I asked her how difficult it was to coach 2 teams, because not only does she coach Toro, but she also coaches the Sixers, which is their senior women's team that won Canadian Nationals last year. And she said that her assistant coaches really make a huge difference. She trusts them entirely, and so even if she can't be there to practice because she's with the Sixers or something like that, she has complete faith in her assistant to get the job done.
Such a valuable tool to have such a deep coaching staff as well. The Elites Ultimate program out of Toronto has been really building Ultimate in Ontario, and I'm not surprised to see this team back again in a semifinal. They were second last year, so we'll see as this game progresses if they can make that run back to the finals again. Lund with the disc. MOFO in a person-to-person defensive set here with Santacono now on the far side. Finds Dow in the middle. Dow shoots around looking for Monica Wang. Wang holsters that one. Not finding an option. Gets a little backhand shot, but that one's bobbled off the hands of Doris Zhang. Hillen now for MOFO. Patterson just surveying the field, finds Hilland again for the reset.
As we can see, clearly Toro is playing a forced backhand, as the coach has suggested they were trying to do to make that adjustment, make it tougher on the MOFO offense.
Yaluega now running out of options, so she puts up a backhand shot, and Hilland comes down with it, puts a floaty one to the end zone. Both of those players got up pretty high there. Looks like there is a call on the play. That disc floated up. I'm not sure that's the put that Hillen wanted to put up. Just got a little bit excited there with the end zone so close.
Yeah, that's a really tough throw for the receiver as well, to be able to see that as it's coming over your head, jump up at the right time, be able to catch it with a defensive pressure. That's a tough catch in any situation.
So these players just having a discussion here. Montana Dennis on defense for Toro. Looks like the observer is going to come in to listen in as well.
I believe the observer is saying he is ruling that it is a foul.
So the observer ruling is that it was a foul, which means that the MOFO player will get the disc on the end zone line at stall 1. So MOFO with a first chance to break here, right on the end zone line. Caitlin Cho not finding an option. Good defense there from Toro, but managing to get open is Alex Yaluega, and that is the first break of the game. MOFO lead 2-1 here over Toro.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice offense. I mean, defensive pressure was very tight. The offensive player with the disc did not hesitate. She just waited until she had an open option, even at a high stall count, made a nice pass, easy goal.
Absolutely, and I love the way that MOFO is clearing as hard as they're cutting as well. They're getting themselves into good position by getting, as soon as they make that cut, they're straight back in the stack, making space for the next person to cut, and that's how Yalawega there able to get out into that space on the near side of the end zone as well.
So in this opportunity now, we'll be able to see what MOFO is going to throw as a defensive set, while TORO will be working it upwind. I suspect that the coaches are probably going to look for some type of zone or junk look to start. Let's see what they do.
So Amanda Froze will line up to pull here for MOFO. These two teams have gone to Universe Point so many times over the last 2 years as well, Fish. So even if MOFO manages to get another break here, I won't be surprised to see TORO climb their way back in. Obviously, that hasn't happened yet. So Jaden Lunn picks up to Zhang and back to Lunn. Shoots over to Santacono. A pick called, but dropped. Santacono, a little bit frustration showing over there. You can see that maybe the pick called thought she could be a little bit more casual on that catch, and now Froze the opportunity to get another break. Resets to the middle. Knockhart. Knockhart looking for Megan Gillis. That one catching the wind, and you can see the wind take that away from her receiver there.
Yeah, that stall count was getting high too, so I'm sure she felt about a pressure to try to get that disc off.
Jaden Lund now. Looking for Doris Zhang, and again, the wind playing effect there, and that disc has got to be kept a little bit lower if they're going to move the disc upwind here. Jacobson now. Shoots over to Cassidy Knockhart. But Tracy Dow with the stall down call.
You see the players discussing now, and they have agreed on, it looks like, contested stall. So it will be coming in at 8.
So high stall count here. Jacobson not really with too many options in the end zone. She may have to resort to some sort of Hail Mary put. This back in. Finds Cassidy Knockhart. A great shot there around. Back to Jacobson. A pick called. The two defenders there between Jacobson and Knockhart colliding as they try and go 1 and 2 as well.
MOFO is still in good position here. If they can have a cutter come from somewhere in the stack, or possibly the handler cut up the line, there's still the opportunity for a relatively easy score if they maintain possession.
Jacobson around backhand looking for Gillis, and that one pushed down. And again, that is the downside of the wind. That is where the wind is pushing those discs down, so you're going to have to keep those ones up on that far side. That one just sailing too far from Gillis. TORO, sure they're extremely happy to have this back as Dow gets this in the middle. Up to Santacono. Santacono holstering that one.
Looks like that was a foul on the mark. Stall is coming in at 1, so uncontested.
Santacono now finds Dow. I think a violation called possibly, as the players are just discussing. Players in the middle of the field signaling that there was no call, but the disc will return back to Santacono, so players maybe just moving before the disc was tapped back in. Jaden Lunn, that one's gonna float, but Lunn tracking that one down, holsters the backhand there and finds the reset in Santacono now. Santacono going around to Monica Wang. Back to Dow, another pick called in the middle of the field. The upfield set here for Toro, very congested on these cuts as well, I think, which is causing a lot of these picks.
Yeah, I think that the MOFO defensive pressure is forcing those Toro cutters to work really hard and possibly not cut in the way and the patterns that they are maybe used to using.
Dow centering to Lunn. Lunn to Santacono.
Great grab.
Reels that one in from the float. Back to Lunn. Lunn around, finds Wang. Wang looking for an option. Lunn really controlling this handler space right now for Toro as she shoots over to Santacono. Megan Gillis, a touch on that one and forces the drop from Toro. Great defensive pressure there from MOFO as they get another chance to go almost the full field to get a break. Jacobson and Gillis going 1 and 2. Jacobson shoots deep, that one's floating, and Amanda Froze unable to come down with that one. It looks like an injury on the play here for Froze, and you can see her as well signaling the foul call while she's still on the ground.
It looks like she's okay. It's hard to quite see what the exact foul was, but there must have been some contact that caused her to immediately call a foul. And the disc is going back.
So a contested foul call, Jacobson. This Dow-Jacobson matchup here I think is something we're going to be seeing a lot of as well. Two very well matched up players as they both having a great defensive battle here as well. Jacobson goes up line. Heather Herms with the disc. Herms looks for Knockhart. 2 yards out of the end zone. Back to Jacobson. Jacobson to the end zone, straight into the poach, and Dow also signaling the down call. So it will be a turnover, and regardless, the conversation will be about where the disc is placed, and it was a stall down, no contest, so the disc will come back in about 10 yards off of the Toro end zone line.
That was excellent defensive pressure by Toro. They had a little poach in the lane there, forcing the offensive thrower to, look for other options, which she just ended up not having, and turnover. Looks like they are having a change of players on the field.
So I think Amanda Froze there just taking an injury sub, possibly from that foul call. She did fall to the ground, so hard to see what happened there, but Toro will take a sub as well. And Doris Zhang.
Oh, great post block.
Right into the poach of Sarah Jacobson, and that is the kind of defense that Jacobson loves to play as well. She's always heads up and in those spaces attacking the disc, and MOFO right now looking like they're in control of this game even though it's quite early on here. Jacobson shoots around to Knockhart. Jacobson upfield into the pressure defense, but that one's going to be caught. And Jacobson, no hesitation.
Amazing throw. I'm pretty sure she threw that in midair.
Jacobson in full stride, shoots that one to Hilland in the end zone, and that is a second break in a row here for MOFO, as they now lead 3-1 in this junior women's semifinal matchup.
What's really interesting about MOFO is they don't get a lot of opportunities to play against other teams. When I was talking to their coach, this is their first tournament of their season. Living in Winnipeg, I think it's just very expensive to be able to fly to other tournaments, especially there's not a lot of juniors options that they could even go to if they could fly to them. So it's amazing to see how well this team works together, how good their chemistry is, how they know where each other are on the field, given the fact that they haven't had a lot of opportunity to play against other teams.
Yeah, it definitely does cause some issues with the geographical location for these women as well, but they're obviously rising above a lot of that and working, showing no intimidation of having playing against these teams who've seen more competition than them throughout the year. So good to see them going here, and Sarah Jacobson having a lot of fun on the sideline down there. This team is quite loose right now.
That's another thing the coach was saying. He said they all really just enjoy hanging out with each other. They're great teammates to each other, and he thinks that that really makes a big difference when they're on the field.
Yeah, and you see it a lot in Ultimate, and especially in juniors, that emotions can ride really high and cause Ultimate to be a game of runs as well. So to have a team with that kind of chemistry and support for each other allows you to rise above in those moments when it does get challenging. MOFO had a tough quarterfinal yesterday. They were leading 8-2 at half, and Bonfire made a massive comeback to lead 11-10. MOFO had to fight that one out, and that shows the kind of chemistry and capabilities that that team has to rise above those situations.
And it's a great learning opportunity also when you're in a tight game and you manage to pull it out in the end. You know, it really gives your team another level of confidence going into a semifinal like this.
So TORO just taking a short time out there, just probably wanting to stop the momentum that this MOFO team is building. They're up 2 breaks here, up 3-1. And we're going to see another big D-line from MOFO here. Hilland with the pull. You can see on the pull how much wind there is down there as well. That disc just not quite reaching halfway, as Rachel Cook will pick up for TORO. Cook finds Lee Chan. Lee Chan looking to the end zone. And she'll find Jasmine Ulalan, but there's a call on the field.
Looks like it's a travel call. Will likely come back to the thrower. I think in this situation the discussion is whether the thrower changed directions before she threw, or was she able to catch going in the same direction.
Yeah, you do get 3 steps to slow down, and you can throw within those 3 steps as long as you do not change your direction of your run as well. So it looks like the observers signaling the goal. So a good hold here for TORO. That's the first clean point we've seen from them so far in this game, and that is the way you want to respond out of a timeout.
That was great. It was simple, easy. Every throw was open. They didn't hesitate. Nice, easy offense. Coach has got to be proud of that.
So TORO looking to get a break of their own back. They're going to have to do it upwind, as this wind really has picked up here, and it's definitely something that can have a big effect on this game.
We've definitely seen it with the throws so far, going actually in both directions. These players are going to have to adjust the way that they throw longs if they want to be successful with those throws.
We have not seen a successful huck for the score yet from either of these two teams, and both of these two teams do love to go deep. We saw it in that pool play game with them on Monday afternoon. Both teams shooting almost like a tennis match at sometimes, Fish, going back and forth across the field. So maybe reeling it in, aware of that wind, and that also shows why they're 2 of the top teams in this division as well, being able to know when to take those shots.
Great pull.
Jacobson will pick up here for MOFO. the zone look from Toro.
Yesterday when we were doing the Toro game, we called this the wall of Toro. It's really tough for a lot of teams to be able to throw around that almost 4-person cup. And as you can see, causes a turnover.
Rachel Cook reading that one, telegraphing Jacobson's throw. Toro, chance now to get a break back upwind. Lyle with the disc. Lyle looking for Ulalan. Jasmine Ulalan finds Lyle back in the middle. She'll shoot over to Rachel Cook. Cook holstering that backhand. Looking off the reset. Finds it on the second opportunity. Cook again on the near sideline. Good patience here from Toro as they work it around the back of this end zone set.
Beautiful grab.
To the end zone, and the defensive play from Cho. Getting that one back for MOFO. Caitlin Cho just aware of that inside-out shot was coming from the Toro players.
Yeah, there was such nice patience by Toro all the way until that last pass, but maybe you could argue was a little bit rushed.
Jacobson right away taking advantage of the turnover. Finds Caitlin Cho going deep. Cho running out of options. Went for the reset, a hand block, and she laid out to keep it in play. Then shoots up line to Jacobson. A dish into the end zone for a wide open Sarah Stows, and just like that, MOFO, no hesitation, goes the full 70 yards to get their hold, keep their 2-point lead at 4-2.
That was immense concentration to be able to catch the disc that you just threw that got hand blocked. You very rarely see that, even at the senior level. Usually that would be a turnover. Amazing.
Incredible athletic play there. Absolutely love to see that, and that's the kind of plays you've got to be able to bring out in a semifinal situation as well.
I really like the way that MOFO looks so confident when they are playing offense. They don't rush their plays. They don't look like anybody is panicking. The stall count gets high. No one is worried. They're always able to find a reset or someone upfield within the time limit.
So we're about half an hour into this game. MOFO leading Toro 4-2. They're up 2 breaks. We've seen a lot better play from Toro. They weren't able to punch it into the end zone there, but they did show really good patience in swinging it around those handler resets. So I won't be surprised to see them continue to work out those kinks and make another run of their own in this game.
Nice grab. That was an amazing grab on the sideline to maintain possession of the disc. Unfortunately, that was a missed swing pass, and MOFO has an opportunity to get another break.
So Hilland will pick up here for MOFO. Shooting to the sideline under some good defensive pressure there from Doris Zhang, gives Toro the disc back and a chance to hold and keep this game within 1. As Toro unleashing their deep shot, Tracy Dow, an open receiver, and that disc just carrying downwind is going to be too far.
It's not a terrible position to put MOFO in. They're going to have to go the full 70 yards upwind. Gives a chance for Toro to play some great defense, possibly cause another turn. Oh, and unfortunately it turns out that the disc never came back in bounds. So MOFO is actually going to get a short field here. Short field opportunity for a break.
Hilland opts to go for the end zone. A great backhand shot just over the head of the receiver. Jacqueline Midford couldn't come down with that one, but a great upwind put there from Hilland.
That was a beautiful throw. Toro has another opportunity to go and get their offensive score. Great grab. It looks like there's a call on the field. Way to stay with the disc, run it down. Looks like there's a pick call.
Monica Wang very open on this near sideline, so not surprised to see that there could possibly be a pick on the play.
I think she's arguing that her defender was not within 3 meters, and therefore she should maintain possession of the disc even if her defender catches up. Observers ruling disc is going back.
So Monica Wang will head back to her defender here.
And TORO will start again on O with probably a stall count at a relatively high number. She's going to have to get it off here pretty quickly.
Jaden Lund with the disc. Finds Doris Zhang. TORO, no options. And that's one shot into traffic. The defensive play there from MOFO. Bryce Patterson came down with that one, and now moving it up the sideline. But the observer calling that one out. The observers do make active out calls on the field as well, so that's going to gift the disc back to TORO as Haley Smith looks for an option. Centers to Wang. Wang looking off a reset. Tracy Dow with the layout to retain possession. Tracy Dow showing what she's made of here as she finds Santacono. Santacono now going deep, and that one's picked off by Dennis in the middle. The reset to Smith is just a little bit behind where she was cutting. MOFO in possession again. Into the middle.
These players are looking like this has been a long point, a little bit tired, tough to work, downfield cutting, and downfield defenses to get open or challenge your player. Oh, big throw upfield.
Patterson putting that one up, and it's brought down by Yalawega. No call on the play in the contact there, as well as Alex Yalawega finds Patterson. Patterson now shoots again towards the end zone, tries to thread the needle, but it's too far and well picked off by Santacono as Tracy Dow unleashes a backhand looking for Monica Wang, and it's just too far out of the receiver. But we are starting to see better looks from both of these teams here, Fish.
I agree. Everything. Oh, it looks like there is another call on the field. I believe we are having an injury substitution.
Mauro Santacono will take an injury sub here. Risa Lee Chan takes her spot.
She did get, there was some contact on that amazing grab by the MOFO player, and I believe she was the defender involved, so I'm sure maybe she's just a little bit shaken up, needs a bit of a break.
Absolutely, so MOFO, a chance to go all the way. Patterson now in the middle. Finds the undershot to Yalawega, but a travel was called on Patterson's throw.
TORO sticking with their backhand force. And another turnover. They're going to get a short field. They're about 15 yards outside the end zone. Excellent opportunity to score here.
Good pressure defense as Smith looks for an option, finds the reset in the middle with Jaden Lund. Jaden Lund holsters that one. Shoots around to Tracy Dow, and that one, she can't retain the possession. A good effort there from Dow, but that one just a little too low. Patterson now. Resets to Steinke. Just surveying her options here, looking for the reset. MOFO doing a decent job of cutting one at a time. That one's going to be tracked down here. Upfield now. Midford shooting deep. That one's going to hang into space. Tracked down by Alex Yalawega. An incredible put from MOFO's Jacqueline Midford. Oh my goodness.
That
what an
was
incredible
an amazing
throw.
pass. That was an amazing throw. I think that's the first on target, into space, let our player run it down throw, deep huck that we've seen so far this game. And what a perfect one, upwind as well.
Absolutely incredible put there from Jacqueline Midford. It's incredible to see these players able to put those leading throws into space. They know the speed of their receivers and trust that they can get there as well. Another break here for the women out of Winnipeg, out of Manitoba. They're up 5-2 in this game, and we've got a score update for you from the other junior women's semifinal as well. The same score over there, Eclipse leading Vortex 5-2. So an interesting matchup going on. Both teams obviously not down and out yet, just need to find a way to center themselves and get a little bit of momentum.
I agree. I think that right now Toro seems to be making it pretty hard on themselves, and maybe they're rushing their passes a little bit, and there's a lot of turnovers. There were so many turnovers in that game, and you want your O to be as clean as possible. The fewer turnovers you have, the more energy you're able to conserve and save it to get the D on defense.
So Toro taking another timeout here, just again trying to slow the momentum. They've got to find a way to generate a break of their own. They're yet to get a break in this game, so sometimes it's just the case of needing to get that one to start your momentum and just have the confidence to know that you can.
I'm sure Coach Carla, she's been in this situation many times before. She's not going to start getting stressed out at this point. You know, a score of 5-2, that does not mean that you're out of the game yet. There's lots of time on the clock left to be able to come back.
Yeah, Carla has been in many different situations as a coach over the years, so definitely not going to be phased at all by this one. You see Carla down there and Karen Chan as well talking to the players. Karen Chan, another veteran player, despite being young. She played U24s this year in Perth, Australia, and she's also been in these situations, so I'm sure just reminding them to focus on their own game and not worry about the things they can't control on the field.
They're going to have another chance here on offense, working it upwind, maintain possession for a score. And like you said, they need to focus just on what they can control. Throw to the open player, take the easy pass, reset it if you need to.
Pull from MOFO will land about 10 yards from the Toro end zone as it's centered from Lyle to Cook. Up to Lunn. Lunn puts up the backhand, looking for Monica Wang, and you can see the pull play there run pretty effectively from Toro. Jaden Lunn was isolated on that near side looking for the huck to Wang, but not quite an open shot there. Jacobson finds Yasmin Banyeras. Jacobson again.
Oh, great D block.
Jasmine Ulalan getting her hand just through to the inside onto that disc. Toro still looking for a hold here as Rachel Cook goes up line. Lund will shoot, but Banyeras ready for that one, and these are the kinds of mistakes we've seen from Toro so far, just not taking that extra second to make sure the shot is 100%.
I agree. It looks like MOFO is really ready for those cuts that Toro is offering. They know they're coming. Great grab on that huge huck. Oh, unfortunate.
Jacobson there shooting a beautiful backhand huck downwind to Yasmin Banyeras, and you see the speed of Banyeras to get to that disc, and had a wide open receiver in the end zone as well, but maybe a little too excited. They know another break here leading 6-2 could really start to hammer down the confidence here for this MOFO team. Almost a miscommunication there from Toro, but they come down with it. Jasmine Ulalan centering to Lyle, but it's picked off by Jillian Bannister for MOFO, getting the D, and this is the kind of pressure that MOFO is just generating every single time they're out on defense. So Jacobson just under 20 yards from the end zone. The layout attempt, but a foul was called on the throw. That one bobbling, you could see it didn't come off the way Jacobson usually puts those high release backhands off.
And I think the defender's arguing that actually she had already released the disc before the foul occurred. She hit the disc, not the hand of the thrower. And it will be a contested foul.
Good to see these players resolving these discussions together. Good spirit shown by both teams so far in this game. See Jacobson get the disc back in on stall 6. The end zone defense from Toro has been on point so far as well. They've been able to cause many red zone turnovers. Stows now finds an option upfield, looking for Jacobson. That one is
excellent
going to sail out of bounds as well. Heather Herms just not quite putting the edge she wanted on that disc, and the poach D as well there, as you said, Fish, from Toro, on point.
Toro has another opportunity to work it up on offense, maybe calm their throws down a little bit.
Jaden Lund getting open in the handler reset spot.
Toro stack is very far back up the field. And an incredible layout D block.
Yasmin Benieres with the layout D. Monica Wang trying to get to that disc, and you could see Benieres wanted that the entire way through. Full extension to get that D. MOFO, another chance to break here as Jacobson goes up line, and she will do it for the break, taking this game 6-2. MOFO in the driver's seat in this junior women's semifinal.
It just seems that Toro is maybe playing a little bit underactivated, or they're looking a little bit tired. Their offensive set there, their stack was very deep, making it really hard for the handlers. They have to make a long pass to hit their player. And you feel like you just want to say, if they just, came a little bit closer, initiated their cuts a little bit earlier, maybe got a little bit more intense while they're on offense, they'd be able to convert more easily.
Yeah, we've seen them bring out good intensity on defense, especially in their end zone, but generating that and bringing that over to the offensive line is really going to be a game changer here for them in this match. So we're going to take a timed half after this point. So half will be added, sorry, not after, but half will be added to 1 to the highest score as it is now, as we've reached 45 minutes in this game. So half will be played 2-7, whoever reaches that one first.
We've been seeing this a lot actually with the juniors, and maybe because of the wind, that halftime, which generally is at 8 on a game to 15, has been actually reached at a time limit as opposed to the score.
So Toro are going to want to make MOFO really work for this as well. Good opportunity with that timed half to go on a run. They're not going to want to let them take it here. MOFO just looking so in control right now in this game. They're loose, they're calm, they're having fun on the sideline. Don't seem to be affected by the pressure of this situation as well. MOFO women haven't made it to a final in several years too, so it'll be great to see what they can accomplish if they can keep this momentum going. I'm actually not sure if MOFO junior women have ever made it to a final, Fish, so this could be a really big turning point for this program if the score stays the way it is now.
Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity to get a chance to play in a final. You learn so much. It's such an incredible learning opportunity to feel what it's like to learn how to win in big games like that. This is a pretty big game as well, and MOFO seems to be handling it quite well.
That one, the poach D picked off again here for MOFO, but the centered pass dropped by Steinke, and that's a gift back to Toro here as Doris Zhang picks up. Tracy Dow with the disc now. That one carried by the wind, as well as the outstretched hands of Cynthia Dang were too far.
You can really feel the wind is really starting to pick up in this point. It's going to make it very tough to score upwind. I have no doubt that MOFO is up to the challenge.
Amber Steinke now finds Froze up line.
Great grab, able to keep her feet in.
Froze. That one just a little bit too high in the wind, and Dow immediately shooting downfield, but
Froze, I believe, is calling a foul on the throw. She's calling a foul.
So the disc will come back.
It's good to see her back on the field. I did notice that she took a few points off after she got that injury in the end zone. Happy to see that she's okay.
So an uncontested foul in on stall 6 here. Froze in possession of the disc on the near sideline. She's gonna shoot deep. An open receiver here for MOFO. 2 yards out of the end zone, Lindsay Marshall. The reset back to Froze.
Incredible saving the disc. And she's calling an injury.
Froze the bid, maybe just some whiplash on her head there. She did have that fall earlier in the game, so hopefully she's okay. An incredible grab to retain possession. Some miscommunication on that reset cut from MOFO.
Looks like possibly shoulder injury. Hope that she's going to be okay. That's unfortunate when you come back on after being injured once already in the game and possibly have to take another injury step. MOFO with a great opportunity here. They will maintain possession of the frisbee about 3 yards outside the end zone line. Opportunity to score upwind. Take another break. MOFO coach was telling me earlier that they have not had an opportunity to play a game on this showcase field on turf. All the other fields are grass, so he did think there may have to be some adjustments made by his team to be able to compete on this surface, and it seems like they're being very successful at this point in time.
Yeah, not phased by the change in venue here. This is where the finals will be played as well, so definitely good to get themselves on this field before they have to play that game, if that's how this game stands. Toro looking to shut this down now as Jacobson will get the disc back into play for MOFO. The defense from Toro absolutely tight and on point again as Tracy Dow is able to pick that one off. Dow now finds Doris Zhang in the middle, around to Rachel Cook. Cook faking on Jacobson for the first one, looks for the reset, running out of options. Cook has to put it up into space and manages to find Cynthia Dang. She goes 1 and 2, but a stall down call back with Rachel Cook, and it looks like it's going to be uncontested, so the disc will come back with MOFO about 20 yards out of the end zone.
Once again, MOFO will have an opportunity to try to take another break, scoring upwind. As we've seen, Toro defense in the end zone is excellent at this point. It'll be pretty tough for MOFO. Toro will definitely make it a challenge.
So disc picked up with Steinke. Steinke looking for an option, finds Jacobson in the middle. Jacobson keeps that one low all the way to the end zone. to take half here for MOFO. Lindsay Marshall with the goal and the break. MOFO will take half at 7-2.
That was a beautiful throw. That's exactly what you want to be throwing in the wind when you're being forced in that direction on the backhand side, as Toro has been doing all game thus far. You really want to try to aim for the corner of the end zone if possible on that type of throw, looking for your cutters coming from maybe the back of the stack, maybe the middle of the stack, giving her a lot of space to run onto that disc, catch it, secure the goal.
So we're going to take a short break here as the